Habari Gani, what's the news? Nia, or purpose. Let's get into it. So today's Kwanzaa principle is Nia, which is purpose. To make our collective vocation the building and developing of our community in order to restore our people to their traditional greatness. The song for reflection today is Higher Ground by Stevie Wonder. And of course, as usual, I love to read the song quotes. The song quotes, the song lyrics. People keep on learning, soldiers keep on warring, world keep on turning, 'cause it won't be too long. Powers keep on lying while your people keep on dying. World keep on turning, 'cause it won't be too long. I'm so glad he let me try it again, 'cause my last time on earth, I lived a whole world of sin. I'm so glad that I know more than I knew then. Going to keep on trying till I reach my highest ground. Love. Now, today's reading is from June Jordan, and the title is A Poem About My Rights. And I just want to read a little bit about Ms. June Jordan. Now, she is one of the most widely published and highly acclaimed Jamaican American writers of her generation. Poet, playwright, essayist. June Jordan was known for her fierce commitment to human rights and political activism. Over a career that produced 27 volumes of poems, essays, libretti, and work for children, Jordan engaged the fundamental struggles of her era for civil rights, women's rights, and sexual freedom. A prolific writer across genres, Jordan's poetry is known for its immediacy and accessibility, as well as its interest in identity and the representation of personal lived experience. Her poetry is often deeply autobiographical. Yikes. I'm gonna read. For viewers' discretion, just be advised that there is sexual trigger warnings throughout this poem, as well as maybe explicit language you might not be comfortable with, so I won't be reading it. So, but I will read through the rest of the poem. Even tonight, and I need to take a walk and clear my head about this poem about why I can't go out without changing my clothes, my shoes, my body posture, my gender identity, my age, my status as a woman alone in the evening, alone on the streets, alone not being the point. The point being that I can't do what I want to do with my own body because I am the wrong sex, the wrong age, the wrong skin, and suppose it was not here in the city but down on the beach or far into the woods and I wanted to go. There by myself, thinking about God, or thinking about children, or about thinking about the world, all of it. Disclosed by the stars and the silence, I could not go and I could not think and I could not stay there alone. And as I need to be alone because I can't do what I want to do with my own body. And who in the set things up like this? And in France, they say if the guy penetrates me but does not ejaculate, then he did not me. And if after stabbing him, if after he screams, if after begging the, and if even after smashing a hammer to his head, if even after that, if he and his buddies, me after that, then I consented and there was no, because finally you understand, finally they me over because I was wrong and I was wrong again to be me being me where I was wrong to be who I am, which is exactly like South Africa penetrating into Namibia, penetrating into Angola. And does that mean, how do you know if Pretoria ejaculates? What will the evidence look like? The proof of the monster jackboot ejaculation on black land, and if after Namibia, and if after Angola, and if after Zimbabwe, and after all my kinsmen and women resist even to self immolation of the villages, and if after that we lose nevertheless, what will the big boys say? Will they claim my consent? Do you follow me? We're the wrong people of the wrong skin on the wrong continent, and what in the is everybody being reasonable about? And according to the Times this week, back in 1966, the CIA decided that they had this problem. And the problem was a man named Kumra. So they killed him. And before that, it was Patrice Lumumba. And before that, it was my father on the campus of my Ivy League school, and my father afraid to walk in the cafeteria because he said he was wrong, the wrong age, the wrong skin, the wrong gender identity, and he was paying my tuition. And before that, it was my father saying I was wrong, saying that I should have been a boy because he wanted one, a boy, that I should have been lighter skinned, and that I should have had straighter hair, and that I should not be so boy crazy, but instead I should just be one, a boy. And before that, it was my mother pleading plastic surgery for my nose and braces for my teeth, and telling me to let the books loose, to let them loose, in other words. I'm very familiar with the problems of the CIA, and the problems of South Africa, and the problems of Exxon Corporation, and the problems of white America in general, and the problems of the teachers and the preachers and the FBI and the social workers and my particular mom and dad. I am very familiar with the problems because the problems turned out to be me. I am the history of I am the history of the rejection of who I am. I am the history of the terrorized incarceration of myself. I am the history of battery, assault, and limitless armies against whatever I want to do with my mind and my body and my soul. And whether it's about walking out at night, or whether it's about the love that I feel, or whether it's about the sanctity of my vagina, or the sanctity of my national boundaries, or the sanctity of my leaders, or the sanctity of each and every desire that I know from my personal and syncretic and indisputably single and singular heart. I have been because I have been the wrong. I have been wrong. The wrong sex, the wrong age, the wrong skin, the wrong nose, the wrong hair, the wrong need, the wrong dream, the wrong geographic, the wrong sartorial. I I have been the meaning of I have been the problem everyone seeks to eliminate by forced penetration, with or without the evidence of slime, and but let this be unmistakable. This poem is not consent. I do not consent to my mother, to my father, to the teachers, to the FBI, to South Africa, to Bedford Stuy, to Park Avenue, to American Airlines, to the hard on idlers on the corners, to the sneaky creeps in cars. I am not wrong. Wrong is not my name. My name is my own, my own, my own. And I can't tell you who the set things up like this, but I can tell you that from now on, my resistance, my simple and daily and nightly self determination may very well cost you your life. No words. If you get it, you get it. If you don't, anyway, the recipe from today comes from our friends at the Smithsonian. I've been using a lot of content from them, and so I usually keep it in the description box, but it's from the National Museum of African American History and Culture. And today's recipe is sauteed pecans or pecan. It just how you want to say it is how it's said. Just say it with confidence, okay? And all you need is butter and pecan, and cook that in a little skillet. And then today's children activity, again, we're focused on Nia. The fifth principle of Kwanzaa is Nia. That's what all this is supposed to tie back into. This principle is supposed to encourage us to make building and bettering our communities the purpose of all that we do. Words we say, they can help make our communities better. So when I'm thinking about Stevie Wonder's encouragement about like kind of allowing yourself to keep trying and just keep on going. I'm thinking about the fact that June Jordan was brave enough to speak up about the sexual assault that happened to her and how often that isn't disclosed by Black women. Even though there's statistics about Black women having to go through that at a higher rate than other women. And so I think that has an impact for people that have experienced that, people that need encouragement, and both of those artists provide that for us. And this children's activity is also trying to get us to reflect on that which we can also do for our communities with our voices. Martin Luther King Jr. lived his life with purpose. He wanted to see the United States become a place where all the people were treated equally, no matter what the color of their skin was. Every day, he worked for what he believed in by talking to people and peacefully protesting things he knew were unfair. Because of the hard work and important words of Martin Luther King Jr. and the many others with his same purpose, we live in a place that is a little more fair for everyone. Today, we can make creating a more fair world our purpose in everything we do and continue the work of Martin Luther King Jr. Marching through the city streets is one way that people use their voices and their bodies to speak up about what they believe in and want to see change. After a really long march to a city called Selma, Martin Luther King Jr. rested his tired feet in a bucket. How do you work hard for something that is important for you or to you? I know we're about 2 minutes over our usual video and counting, but somebody say take your time. So, for me, when I'm thinking about this question about how do you work for something that's important to you, for them, they use the example of marching and protest, and I think that's great. I guess I was just thinking about like how I feel like we can stand to use our voice for a lot more things, including getting online, but also just in person. I feel like, because I think something that happens is like, there's some people that are really active online versus like you see them in person and it's just like, they're shh, like, they're quiet. And I think that's a way that I go about, I guess, handling affairs that are important to me, is not just talking about it, but kind of like being about it. So maybe it's not marching for me, but it's writing. It's showing up for the things that I said I'd show up for. It's speaking up about something, especially if someone said something that made me uncomfortable or like something wrong. Like, I feel like it's one thing, like, if I'm uncomfortable, like, I'll be like, sometimes I won't say nothing. I'll be like, okay, that's weird, but okay. But then I feel like if you're just wrong, it's just like, hold on. And sometimes I remember talking about this with somebody, because she was just like, Clarice, I noticed you pick when to address when someone's in the wrong. And I was just like, you have to. Because me personally, I don't want to spend time talking to a brick wall. I don't. I don't. and and it's not saying like people won't receive, but I anticipate and kind of acknowledge what people are willing to see receive and when and what moments. And I'm like, and at the same time, like, maybe that's not necessary, maybe I'm doing too much, but at the same time, not everybody deserves my energy, so I'm not gonna tell everybody everything off the top of my head when something's wrong, or like da 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 da. Like, it's not that I could care less, but at the same time, it's like, it's not that I can care less, but it's more like I care more about maybe protecting my peace in that moment. My job's not to educate everybody. I like, it's not. And so, anyway, that I went on a tangent. I can go on some tangents now, but how do you work for something that's important to you? I should have started by saying by the grace of God, because that's first. And reminding y'all that it looks different for everybody. Maybe you're not marching, but you're showing up when and how you said you would show up. You're doing what you said you would do. And maybe if it's like, listen, it's the same with workouts. Even if it's not 100%, like, boom, I gave the 10% I had today. I did that. Like, sometimes something is better than nothing. And anything worth doing is also worth doing poorly. I think we can set our minds up, like, not even just our minds, but our physiology sometimes. No, mental, emotional, spiritual, like, even physical. When we're like, oh, I'm gonna do this, like, our body tenses up, our self-esteem gets down, when everything doesn't go exactly the way we planned it, when it's not completely correct, and that's not what you're being called to do. Just stand on business and handle it, period. And I feel like that ties back into purpose. That's it. Stand on business. Alright, peace. I'll see y'all next time.